Yeah. Yes.
How about monoglycerides in bread?
That's an issue as well, because you see, this monoglycerides, they are broken down to a case where it cannot be taken back to its original state. So when it's broken down in terms of istihala to a chemical basis, and it cannot be taken back to its original state, it's not for you to consume. So bread, it's not for you to consume because these are broken down to a state that cannot be taken back to its original form. So it takes a new ruling. So this is bad. One glyceride will then become pure unless proven otherwise. So it's pure, inshallah. I guess we'll have one last question, inshallah. Or yes, what, inshallah.
Okay, I watched a documentary called Earthlings, and it's all about how they process meat in the West.
Yeah.
And they showed a good 15 minutes of how kosher meat is processed, and by the way they showed it, it really isn't halal the way they show it, because they show that they also torment the animals. They do swear at their animals, and when they cut it, the animal is dropped into the blood. Into the blood. So they have this big, and it's like a conveyor belt, and it comes, and they slit the throat, the blood comes gushing out, and then they drop the animal, which goes back into the blood. So the animal is mixed with the blood.
Well, I've not seen. I've seen a video myself, a different video maybe. Was it an undercover video that you watched?
Pardon?
Was it an undercover video or the trying to?
It was called Earthlings. It generated a lot of controversy.
Well, I don't know, because I myself visited there's a facility over here in Richmond, and I had a few of my close friends who were working in that factory where they processed the meat. They weren't killing nothing; they were just cleaning up and janitorial thing. And they actually saw up close how they were killed. So I'm mentioning to you that the way I'm saying to you is that what I was informed of, to me that seemed to be 100% halal. But if there's some other issues, maybe let's say that the animal's not killed properly, tormented, or whatever else, it would not make it haram to consume, so to say. Or of course, it's not haram in themselves, but if the animal is slaughtered, the whole issue here is the way that it's slaughtered. Of course, as a Muslim, Rasulullah forbade us. He said, you never, harm an animal in that way, to torment it, to say bad things to it. None of that at all. So I want us to be, to kill it in the most kindest method or manner. If this is not followed amongst the Jewish practice, or it's not everyone, but of them, if there are people who don't follow this, that is a case that we look into individually. But in general, if it's known that they are slaughtering according or similar to Muslims, we can consume it. But in the end, we have so many halal alternatives. Muslims themselves who slaughter, businesses, business owners, fast food chains. It would be best that you do take one that you are completely sure of, 100%. You are, clear and have clarity. Then you take something that you're kind of doubtful. So I'd say in that case, if you're doubtful, put it aside and take what you are sure of 100%. You want the last question, Rachel? Okay, sister.
I had a question regarding the rennet, because rennet is a complex of enzymes, right? They use to actually put the cheese together. And the definition of an enzyme is that it's a substance that doesn't actually take part in a reaction. So it doesn't become part of the final product. What you put in, you get exactly out. So by definition, the rennet doesn't actually become part of the final product that you actually get.
Yeah.
So then what would be the issue with pure rennet or the most expensive rennet? Because either way, it doesn't become...
No, I'm not saying there's a difference in scholarly opinion. I'd say basically it's based, as I said in the beginning, on how the issue is presented to the scholar. If it's said to him, well, this is haram, this is filthy, whatever else, it doesn't give you the answer according to what you mentioned. But if you mention to him exactly what it is and how it's formed and everything else, I don't think there will be an issue with it to begin with. That's why it's mentioned that always the mufti, the sheikh, will give you an answer according to what you've asked him. Okay, last question, John.
What if it's like a Muslim slaughterhouse, but when they start the slaughtering process, it's done by machines, and they just turn the machine on, and at that time they only say once, this one not
You mean for chicken, poultry?
For any meat or
No, because the helicopter blade, that will be for poultry only, not for the beef, of course. I have I'm not sure the video is kind of revolting, but what they do basically in a Muslim factory, even, let's say even a non-Muslim factory, they will not kill it like that. They render it unconscious, it falls down. It's illegal to slaughter the animal on the ground. It has to be hoisted up, raised up to a certain level. And the Muslim would then basically slit the jugular vein and the esophagus at that moment, and it will bleed out on the ground. Whereas in other factories, the non-Muslim factories, what they would do is that they cut from over here and bring right to the neck like this, all the way up, and they open the skin. So not to ruin the hide, because you want to use it completely the best way possible. Let's slit like this, open it up and take a knife from inside and slit the throat from inside. So I mean, if you look at that, it's really painful, extremely painful. The animal, at that point may feel something, without doubt. Especially if it regains consciousness at that moment, it's gonna feel whatever it feels, and it's being split up and cut up like that. So the helicopter blade, the poultry, if it's flying at a certain level, and the chicken are going Muslim, it's a Muslim factory. It's stunned, and then sent out, not killed individually, the blade, and the person says Bismillah for the first time only, and leaves it to cut. It should not be cut, because it is an individual in every single animal that's killed. Okay, we'll end with this inshallah. Jazakumullah khair. We'll end with this with that. If you have any questions, you can email the MSA brothers and they can forward me any questions inshallah. There are certain points I did not mention over here. I guess we don't have the time, and I was kind of afraid that it would go too long. I'll forward them to the brothers at MSA and they can forward it to you inshallah. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. جزاكم الله خيرا.